Okay, Andrea CK. That is not my birth name. My birth name is Abraham Solomon. So I've been a disappointment to my parents from the very first minute. But they lit upon Andrea Sue after a while. Kohen, as you may or may not know, is like priestly. It's like an elevated position in the Jewish community, kind of royalty. But we think it was stolen valor. We think it was actually Bernstein, and my parents were taking advantage of Ellis Island to kind of make the leap into a higher class of Jewish people. So there I am, Andrea Kohen. Now that means in Hebrew, if you take it apart, Andrea, andros, human, it means female human priest. Okay, I'll take it. After a while, I got married, and I married a guy whose last name was Keiner. Keiner is German for nothing, not, which is pretty much what I got out of the union, except for 4 wonderful children. So now I have the name Andrea Cohen Keiner. Human female, priest of nothing. Right? Now, if you're a traditional Jew and you are not into the idea of women rabbis, that is a very clever insult. She thinks she's the priest of nothing, But in Buddhism, gigantic compliment, bragging, priest of nothing. How could we be in touch with nothing, the master and the mistress of nothing? So I'm going with that version. All right, how do we get to Andrea CK? Oh, yeah. Do you guys know Louis CK? Well, to be honest, it's a little bit in homage of Louis CK. Because when I first started after my 50-year hiatus from comedy, when I first started up in comedy, he was very popular. I admired him. Little Louis had not been exposed yet. Now, some of you are going to get that joke, and some of you aren't. But apparently he had a little problem with self-satisfying in certain settings. We're going to go back over that just a little bit. But little Louis hadn't been exposed when I took on that name. Just circling back to that. Louis C.K., he is amazing. Now, he got the CK from the unpronounceable Polish last name that he has. But I got it through Cohen Keiner, so I took it. I just kept it and ran with it. I kind of liked it. But the thing about Louis C.K., I decided to boycott him a little bit because, after a show, some of the other comedians would, go with him. You want to come into the back room with me? And he asked for permission to have a little moment with himself. And I was very judgmental about that, but I've decided to forgive him because if I was in a situation where 4,000 people were chanting, Andrea C.K., brava, brava, I might need to go to a room somewhere and climax my joy. I haven't had that experience, so I cannot judge him. And he did ask for permission. And I will say he has balls because we've seen him in most of his movies and specials. You just have to know what you're getting into when you open yourself to Louis C.K. And keep the lights low, I would think. I did decide to forgive him, though. I should make this disclaimer right at this point that the material today, it's not going to be PG exactly, parental guidance. It's going to be PB, which is like post-bar mitzvah. So I don't know if you know this or not, but in comedy, talking dirty, being explicit about sex is called working blue. And, if I talk about my life, how am I going to do that without talking blue? I mean, there were hookers in my reception line at my bat mitzvah. How am I going to tell you these things? But as a rabbi, on the other hand, I have to watch it because I never know what I'm up against here. And so I have to work light blue. You're going to hear light blue material tonight. Everyone good? We're good with that?